Today, Bitcoin prices crossed back above $31,000. Hackers make off with $260,000 worth of Ether from Yuga Labs Discord channels. And Bitcoin just broke a 9-week losing streak. So what's next? We asked Jeff Schumacher of NAX Group. Welcome to CNBC's Crypto World. I'm Tanea McKeel. Crypto markets in the green today, adding to a weekend rally that broke Bitcoin's longest ever losing streak. By noon Eastern, the world's biggest cryptocurrency by market cap was worth more than $31,000. Ether on the rise as well. It's worth a little less than $1,900. And Solana is among the strongest performers today, rising to $42. After 6 months of selling pressure, lots of crypto investors hope Bitcoin has found the bottom. Others say the sell-off isn't done quite yet. If Bitcoin does trade even lower, that could put some big investors at risk, like MicroStrategy. Crypto World's Kate Rooney explains how the crypto company's loans could be in trouble if Bitcoin falls too far.
MicroStrategy can be a tough company to size up. It's a software firm, but also essentially a Bitcoin holding company. Both those businesses impact the balance sheet and the bottom line. The software business has been around for 32 years. It was co-founded by CEO Michael Saylor, now one of the most vocal backers of crypto, and went public back in 1998, and its profitable analytics business, data analytics business, competes with the likes of IBM and Oracle. Analysts at BTIG value the software side of the business around $1 billion, and 2 years ago it started using the software proceeds to buy more Bitcoin. MicroStrategy holds roughly 129,000 Bitcoin, tripling its holdings in 2 years. Those are now worth roughly $3.8 billion at today's prices. But to buy all of that Bitcoin, MicroStrategy has taken on $2.4 billion in debt. The majority is through convertible notes, which, as the name suggests, convert into stock at the maturity date. That's a total $1.7 billion on the convertible notes at a 0% to 0.75% interest rate. Then there's $500 million of senior secured notes at a 6% interest rate. Finally, $205 million in a first-of-its-kind loan backed by Bitcoin. The CFO called that a potential margin call on that last loan if Bitcoin drops to 21,000 or lower. Some fear around that, plus Bitcoin's price weakness, has hit MicroStrategy stock in recent weeks. Saylor responded to that on Twitter. He says the company has enough Bitcoin to put up more collateral if that happens. His capital structure has a few side effects. For one, it's brought fixed income traders into crypto, and it potentially makes the stock more volatile. Analysts tell me traders are looking to MicroStrategy for arbitrage opportunities. Some see it trading at a discount to the value of that software business I mentioned and all of its crypto holdings.
Now let's catch you up on the top stories. First, attackers stole $260,000 worth of Ether using the Yuga Labs Discord channels. After hacking a community manager's account, the attackers posted phishing links. Then they moved the stolen funds through multiple wallets. Yuga Labs tweeted about the hack, saying its team addressed the breach quickly and reminding members that it never offers surprise mints or giveaways. Next, STEPN, a crypto game that pays you to walk or run, also faced an attack over the weekend. The company tweeted that it faced multiple denial of service attacks on Sunday and warned users that the service may not properly record workouts until the issue is resolved. Okay, for our main story, I spoke to Jeff Schumacher, founder and CEO of NAX Group, about whether this latest crypto rally can last and what the digital asset market will look like this summer. All right, Jeff, thanks for joining me today. So Bitcoin just broke its longest ever losing streak. The biggest cryptocurrencies rallying today. Several analysts have said that it's a little bit too soon, though. One analyst I spoke to this morning called it a bull trap. What do you make of this? How much further does this have left to go?
Over the weekend, it tends to have lower volumes, so you see volatility, and we're seeing that upward motion on the lower volumes. And it tends to also track with the equities, the equity market, and that's positive today. So you're seeing that. I would agree that at this level, it's probably still got some room to go down or up. But at the same time, you're starting to see the FOMC. They're going to put money into the market. You could see the decoupling of Bitcoin and from the equities, and they're become a deflationary investment. But that's probably too early right now for that to be the case.
Right. Bitcoin has sort of been stuck between this $28,000 to $32,000 range this year. What do we need to see for a meaningful swing higher?
I think you need to see that decoupling to happen. If that happens, a lot of people think Bitcoin goes to the moon. If you look at the crypto market more broadly, you have currencies, you have store of value and utility. Bitcoin is a store of value. People will park money into it, and if it starts to decouple from the equities market, I think you'll see a lot of people parking money into it, and it should go up significantly.
Is there a certain catalyst that you look for to see that decoupling happen?
I think that the Fed, as it cranks on interest rates, if they do 2 more half-point measures into it, you probably see that to begin to happen. And if that does happen, that's where I think Bitcoin gets its true aspect of being a store of value for us.
Looking out a little further, what does this summer look like for crypto?
You've got a lot of garbage in crypto, right? You have a lot of Ponzi schemes out there, and whether the SEC put some regulation into it, you started to see that with OpenSea. They started to signal that they're going to do things. You may see that happen further in the summer. We're a big proponent of DeFi, decentralized finance, as we focus on. We're also a big proponent of Bitcoin as a store of value, but not as a currency, and we're a big proponent of the alts that have utility. And so the ones that have utility, ETH has utility. You could see that start to take up. ETH2 coming out could push ETH even further up. There's a lot of interest there. Another one we're looking at is Algorand. That one seems to have a lot of utility as well, so we get pretty interested in those.
Tell me about what you're seeing in the price movements around DeFi, but also what is sort of under the surface that we should be following?
If you think about just, and this is a generalization, but if you have the cryptos and the stable coins, right, that are the currencies, then you have the store of value, which Bitcoin and ETH tend to have that attribute to themselves. Then you look at utility, and if you look at utility, now you're talking about a tech or software that you're using. And then you have to say, well, what drives value in a utility? And there's a number of measures, but there are kind of 3 that we look at. One is usage. Those are the wallets that you see on one of the alts there. Second is the transactions or the smart contracts. What kind of volume is being transacted? And third is what's the long-term value that's locked up? A lot of them talk about long-term value that's locked up. And I look at that as like, hey, I just created Facebook and look at all my shareholders, but I have no users. So how does that drive value? So I think as people start to understand the alts and the utility around that, I think a lot of them go away. And then I think a few of them rise to the top. And those that rise to the top will have the users, the wallets, the transactions, and the long-term value locked up. And right now, I think a lot of them, they're looking at the long-term value locked up, but they forget about the usage and the users. And that's what I think is going to really drive the value in DeFi, and what will really drive the value of those alts in DeFi that have those 3 attributes.
Okay, that's all for today, but you can find that full interview over at cnbc.com/cryptoworld. We'll be back again tomorrow, and we'll see you then.